pocket full of posy. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Yeah! So it's the last day of our trip, and earlier in the week we were shooting for my new music video, Broken Shells, out on Long Island, on the beach, in 36-degree weather. It was freezing, and I just remember we would shoot for 5 minutes and then run back to the car to defrost for the next 20. We would just go back and forth, back and forth. And we got some really good content, but a lot of what I wanted to do required getting in the water. So knowing that we were going to LA the next weekend, we decided to kind of chop it into 2 shoots. Watch me. So when you watch the music video, you'll see Long Island and you'll see Santa Monica, California. So it's kind of cool bringing those 2 worlds together. You know, my husband actually recommended that we shoot the entire music video in California because he was worried I was gonna get sick shooting the whole thing in Long Island, knowing what my vision was. And I was prepared to get in that water. We're actually heading to the beach to finish filming the Broken Shells music video.
Oh, nice. Tell me about the video. How's that? What are you doing on that? Just walking on the beach? What are you doing? Throwing shells up in the air? You're doing somersaults? What are you doing?
Probably a little bit of all of that. But
who's in it?
It's just me. I'm playing 3 characters. I'm playing
Nice.
Poppy, I'm playing myself, and I'm playing the seashell. And today we're filming the seashell. My dad is such a jokester. He always knows how to get a good laugh out of me, and it was a really great way to start the shoot. So in the music video, I portray 3 characters, one of which being my grandfather walking the beach at sunrise, picking up seashells, as he often did, to bring home for his collection. My second character is myself as a singer-songwriter, going to the beach, reflecting, telling the story. And the third character is one of those seashells that my grandfather may have picked up and loved and kept on his shelf for the duration of his life. So when we arrived in Santa Monica and there was just like hundreds of birds on the volleyball court, I decided to run through them because to me, my grandfather is represented in bird form, post-mortem. On the morning of his death, I saw this beautiful osprey, and every time I see a bird or a crane or anything like that on the beach, I really think of him. So it was a nice omen to start the shoot off with. So I've always loved the water, and being on the beach is like one of my happy places. So it was really nice connecting with the wind and the waves, and the footprints in the sand is one of my lyrics, footprints fading in the shifting sand. So it was just nice to connect with the song while being on location in one of my favorite places. It was really fun filming underneath of the pier, kind of being attacked by the waves, but it gets better, I guess, or worse for me. I'm pretty notorious to kind of do whatever it takes to get the shot when it comes to music videos and photo shoots, whatever I'm doing. So there's some really good footage of me just getting pulverized by waves, and wearing that net was not easy. It kept getting wrapped around my legs. I'm lucky I didn't get washed out to sea or get mistaken for a seal by a shark. We were right next to the fishing pier. What was I thinking? I'm cold, but it was awesome! For all the broken shells, baby. I did this for you. I think having our original plans of shooting the full video in Long Island, having those plans disrupted actually kind of worked in our favor because we were able to kind of blend the 2 locations together. And I was really happy with how it turned out. I think it came out great. So do you all notice anything different about me? Yes, I got my hair colored. So originally we had planned on having some time in between the photo shoot and the hair appointment to kind of wash the beach off of us, but we ran out of time. We were just having too much fun. So we just decided to book it to the hair appointment. I ended up having to dry off and get somewhat presentable in the parking garage. So Courtney and I go way back. When I lived in LA, he was my go-to hair guy, and the conversation's just amazing with him. I feel like I don't get my hair colored often, so when I do, I'm willing to travel across the country to get it done. Gonna say goodbye to our gorgeous brown locks. So usually when I go in, I bring along with me some inspiration photos and kind of see what he has to say about it.
I'm trying to think if I'm just going to do a global bleach and just apply it everywhere and then go back in and just do like a soft root shade like at the roots, because then the second your roots grow in, it creates more dimension with that root shade, right? So like as the roots grow in, it just adds more dimension. It looks just look better and better.
So obviously he's super talented if I'm willing to travel across the country to get my hair done by him, but you know, when I'm with him, conversation just flows.
I just want to entertain people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just want to do entertaining and fun stuff because that's content that's fun to make.
I saw your comic stuff. You're so talented. That's so amazing.
I know, I've been drawing it's the only other thing I've been doing pretty much my entire life, longer than hair, is drawing.
Yeah. He's super interesting. We have a lot in common when it comes to the art.
She's like, I don't write songs for myself. She's like, I talk to my fans and I talk to people who listen to my music, and she goes, they just want to tell me stories, right? They want to tell me stories about themselves and the things that they go through. And she goes, and that's where I get the ideas to write my songs. Because a fan of mine or somebody will tell me a story about something that they've experienced. She goes, and then I write a song for that person. Aww. And then I write a song for this person because I know that there's probably thousands of people out there who have experienced the same thing that this person experienced in the way that they experienced it, right?
And if she hears the same kind of story from multiple fans, then that's a...
So she's like, I write this song for that person, and I wrote this song for that person. And I'm going like, that's the genius of Taylor Swift, is that she's writing songs about things that have happened to the people who listen to her music. Most relatable artist, right? And that's why I think she is the most successful.
So first he starts off by bleaching the whole top of my head, and it requires so many pieces of foil. It's actually kind of funny. I'm giving you Alien versus Predator vibes. If my kids were here, they would definitely call me a dinosaur.
I started doing these things that I thought were going to be funny, and they turned out to not be funny, whether it was my delivery or they just weren't funny or whatever, right? And so I'm sitting here going like, oh my God. And then I introduce the next act, and I go into the dressing room, and I'm like, I have to go out there 7 more times, and these people hate me. Ran outside, ran to the bar during this number, got 2 shots of tequila. I was just like, all right, clang, clang, you know what I mean? Like, we'll get through this. I started to just look at people, right, in the audience and just start doing observational stuff. I'm like, this guy is so hot. I'm like, what are you doing with her? Do you know what I mean? Just stuff like that. I had to let the filter go.
That's hard for me. For me, I need to prepare a script. Like
same, but I thought that I was the same way, right? I need to be prepared, right? And my preparedness is what me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you're 2 in your head.
Every crowd's gonna be different, right? Every performance is gonna feel differently. Because you're gonna have different people in the crowd. People are gonna feel differently. It's gonna be a different night. You're gonna feel differently. So you have to kind of almost prepare yourself to feel what energy is happening in that moment, and that's where the vulnerability comes from. And to really see and feel what's happening. And improv.
So after quite a bit of time to allow the hair to bleach, it's time for my favorite part, the rinse. It feels like, you know, a head massage, and it just feels like you're getting pampered. It's a very relaxing stage of the process. And then he starts to give me my haircut, and that's when we start to figure out the shape and the style, and it's slowly but surely coming together.
Okay, so we're definitely maintaining the length for sure.
So one thing that I really took away from our conversation was when Courtney was talking about stage presence and connecting with the audience. You know, he has a background in drag and in comedy. So, you know, there's a lot of improv that goes into that. And for me, that's something I could definitely work on and bring to my own performances. I think being able to include the audience will just make the performance even that much more powerful, and it'll leave the audience with more to talk about and more to to take away from it.
You can create things. You know, you can actually create different like looks and shapes with your hair.
It's always fun chatting with Courtney. I truly feel like there's just so much we can learn from each other. And by having conversations with like your hairstylist, you can learn so much. Hey Courtney, thank you so much for everything. I had a blast with you. It's always just so much fun chatting with you, and thank you for your insights and your conversation and for your friendship. I can't wait to see you again. You saved her. Mm-hmm. I'll definitely hit you up when I'm back in LA. Mwah.
T-Cole 2.0.
Okay, so this was really weird. On our drive back from my hair appointment, it just starts hailing. It looked like Dippin' Dots. Isn't it supposed to not rain in LA? And now it's hailing. What the hail? Sorry, dad joke. So we've reached the end of our LA trip. It's been so beautiful, so magical. It's been nice reconnecting with lots of friends. But now it's time to go home, back to reality. So we're taking a red-eye flight this time, so hopefully the kids sleep and all runs smoothly. Nope. Please help me in knowing that I'm not the only one who goes through this, and comment your struggle stories below. And if you're someone who just has perfect traveling experiences every time, feel free to skip forward to the next episode. So we get to Burbank, we're taking a red-eye flight. Hopefully the kids are gonna be sleeping through this whole thing. We get through security, we get some snacks, you know, we're on time and we're ready. So we board the flight, and on the back of the seat, it says destination Phoenix, Arizona. So right off the bat, I'm like, what? This is a direct flight to New York. The captain comes on and he says, ladies and gentlemen, we need to refuel in Arizona because of the winds and the wait. We won't be able to get to New York without it. You know, at this point, the kids were sleeping. They were good because we chose to fly red-eye. This was supposed to be a smooth sailing operation. So at this point, the kids are sleeping. We're just kind of waiting for more information. But then some people start to get up and take their bags and get off the plane. So that starts to kind of worry me. So I look at my husband and I'm just like, should we get off? We kind of waited out. 3 hours later, the captain comes on, and turns out due to a technical issue with the plane, they have to cancel the flight. It's 12:30 at night. I'm stranded on the sidewalk of Burbank Airport with sleeping toddlers, 50-pound car seat, and nowhere to go. So my husband's a superhero. He swoops in, saves the day, because at this point, I couldn't make any decisions. I was so overwhelmed and pissed. So my husband books us a new flight for the morning from LAX and a hotel right across the street. We got up in the morning, we had breakfast, and then we headed to LAX, where the adventure continues. From the moment we get there, there's just obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. Let me see if I can remember them correctly. First, there was an issue with our mobile boarding passes, so we couldn't check our bags from the kiosks. We had to go speak to somebody. They were very nice and resolved our issue quickly, and sent us along to security. We waited in the security line. The kids are being nightmares. So we're just trying to get through security, past TSA, and to our boarding gate. We finally get to TSA, and she scans our boarding pass, and a red light comes up with an error message. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. We're not able to let you pass. There's something wrong with your boarding pass. You need to go back to the ticketing desk. At this point, we're fuming. We're like, come on, it's been like the longest night ever. We should be home and at work by now. So we go all the way back to the ticketing desk, and my husband and the ticketing lady kind of butt heads a little bit, and she's sitting there declaring, oh, we've missed our flight, we're gonna have to book a new one. I'm like, not again. So I walk away, because I'm just watching the kids, trying to keep them under control, and my husband's like, all right, we're good to go. We take another pass through the security line. We're able to skip ahead to the front. I hate doing that though. It makes me so uncomfortable. And we get there, and she gets the error message yet again. So she has to call over a police officer who then checks our IDs and has to give us permission to pass through, which he did, thankfully. So we get through security, finally, and I beeline it to the bar for a double shot of Jameson. And everything from that point on, I think, goes pretty smoothly. We board the plane, we get back home. I have a little PTSD from the whole thing, and it's safe to say that I probably won't travel again, at least with my kids until they're teenagers, at least. No, we had a really great time, made some amazing memories, got to share the West Coast with the kiddos and celebrate our friends, so wouldn't have it any other way. We got through it.